welcome back to my channel. I'm Chelsea if you're new here, and today I'm going to be talking about how I film and edit my YouTube videos. So today I'm going to be talking about my filming equipment, my editing equipment, and how I edit. So if any of you guys are starting a YouTube channel or thinking about starting a YouTube channel, then you guys can probably get my tips and tricks on my editing skills and try them yourself. So let's jump into the video. So firstly, let's talk about my filming equipment. So I have two cameras I normally film with. So the first one is the Canon M50. This is the camera that I use most of the time and I love it. So this is what I'm filming currently right now on, which I love it, so highly recommend, and it's very easy to use as well. The second camera I normally use is the Canon G7X Mark II. This is the camera that I started with when I first started my YouTube channel, but I still love this camera. So this camera I normally use it at like when I'm going out somewhere because it's very easy to put it in my purse and to take it out of my purse and just to turn it on and film. So that's the main camera I go to when I want to vlog outside of the house, but when I vlog inside of the house I use the Canon F50. So if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, I highly recommend the Canon G7X Mark II, or any of them. You can get Mark III, which Mark III may be a little bit better because you can actually add a mic onto it. I'm pretty sure you can. Yeah, so I highly recommend that camera if you're starting out a YouTube channel or thinking about starting out a YouTube channel. The next thing I use is the Joby wavomic, and then I attach this mic onto my Canon F50. It also has a dead cat on it to protect the audio from the wind. I love this mic. It definitely enhances the audio and makes the sound more clear. And the tripods I use is just the GorillaPod and the Handy Pod. To be honest, I use the Handy Pod more than the GorillaPod. It's very easy to like grab it and like hold on to it, and then the GorillaPod is easier to like wrap it around a pole if you want to film yourself, you know. The next tripod is this tripod with a studio light attached to it. So I use this tripod and studio light more as for a sit down video if I want extra lighting and everything. Right now I'm filming not with the studio light, but I'm filming with the natural light outside because natural lighting is always better. But if it was cloudy and gloomy and like raining outside, then I use a studio light for extra lighting, so it's way better so you can see me, if you know what I mean. So that is everything what I film with. Now next we have my editing equipment. So the laptop I use that I edit with is the MacBook Pro. This MacBook Pro has the touch bar on it, so it's easier to edit with. If you want to split a clip, you press the touch bar and it will split it for you, which makes everything way more easier. I also use my iMac Apple computer, which has way more storage and also is great for editing as well with a bigger screen and everything, which I also recommend. But a laptop's also very great because you can take it anywhere and sit down and edit, like take it to a cafe, sit down, edit, and everything like that. So, and then the editing software I use is iMovie. So I use iMovie because it's probably the cheapest software because it's free. So it comes with your computer and Mac, like comes with Apple. So yes, I've heard about Final Cut Pro, which I do want to get, but it's very expensive. It's like $300 to $400 and I don't have any money for that. So I might get Final Cut Pro in the future. Hopefully in the future, we'll see. But yeah, so if you're starting out on YouTube, iMovie is the best thing. But if you want to say, if you're doing YouTube in like the long term, they get Final Cut Pro because it's very good, I've heard, but it's a bit more complicated. So iMovie is very easy to use, but Final Cut Pro is a bit more complicated to use. So I just like sticking with iMovie because it's easy, free. I do want to get Final Cut Pro in the future, so we'll see what happens. So that is it for my editing equipment. Now on to how I edit. This is basically going through all your footage that you imported and cutting out anything you don't want in your video. The footage that I normally cut out is when I mess up on words or I say a lot as well. So this is what I normally say. I normally say and yeah, or so I normally do say that a lot in my videos, so I like to cut that out because it's not necessary to have it in my videos, if you know what I mean. So I like to cut it out. But you don't want to make your videos too choppy where it's like this. Yeah, but you also don't want to make your videos too lengthy where it's not necessary to have that much gap or space in your videos. So because I have the MacBook that I have the bar at the top, it has a split button on it, so when I edit I normally press the split button and it will split for me. But if you don't have the one I have that has the bar at the top, so it's Command B for split and Command X to cut. And say if you make a mistake, you click Command Z to go back. So I didn't explain at the start, but this is just called the rough cut. So when you want to, well, split clips and cut it, and you know, everything that I explain is called the rough cut. Now while doing the rough cut, I normally add text overlays, sound effects, transitions, and screen crop. So let's move on to text overlays. The text is found where it says titles. So you have all these text and fonts that you can choose from. To be honest, I don't use the text from iMovie because I'm not a fan of the text or fonts from iMovie, so I don't use it from that. I normally use Fonto and then I airdrop it to my computer and then just add it in my editing process. I'll explain how I do that. So I go onto my phone, I go to Fonto, then you click on the diagram, then where it says plain image, you press that, then you just click on a plain white image, then you click on the top where it says 2048 by 2048. So that's the image size, but that's not the YouTube image size. So I normally just click on custom, then I do 1280 by 270, which is the YouTube image size. So I normally press that. Then I click where it says color, go to green because you want green screen, and then you press it on that, and then you click done, and then you can write whatever you want and put it wherever you want. So let's say I want to put it here, I will put it here because in a YouTube size it's way easier to put the fonts and the text, like, so you know where you are, if you know what I mean. Anyway, so you can style them whatever you want, you can have any font you want, and then after you do that you just save it to your photos and then just airdrop it to your computer. So that's what I normally do for text and fonts. And then after you airdrop it, open up your iMovie and then add the image onto your iMovie and then just add it to the video, and then you click where it says cutaways and then you go down to where it says green/blue screen, and then you just click that, and then it will just make it transparent to the video, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that's what I normally do for my text. Now moving on to sound effects. So you can find the sound effects right here. So there's so many sound effects you can choose from. You can also import other sounds from like YouTube, which I'll explain later when we get into music. Some of the sound effects that I normally use is the computer mouse click and swish to. So now let's move on to transitions. So transitions is when you go to one clip to another. So let's say I'm in my bedroom and then I'm in the living room. So if I don't want like a hard cut going from one clip to another, that's where transitions come in. So on iMovie, I just click where it says transitions, and then you got all these transitions you can pick from and use onto your videos. The one that I use the most is called Swipe Left, is the one that I normally use. And once you add that to your clip, you can double click it, and then this would come up where you can change the speed of the transition. So I normally put 0.1, which is the fastest because I like it pretty fast because I don't like a slow transition. And to make the transition more noticeable, I use this sound effect, which is swish to, and then I just add that to the video. So with this sound effect, I screen recorded it on YouTube on my phone, and then I airdropped it to my iMovie because iMovie does not have this sound effect. I'm pretty sure only Final Cut Pro does. So I normally just screen record it and then just airdrop it to my computer or Mac. And the swipe transition is like this. So there you have it. Now we're moving on to screen crops. So the screen crops I normally edit looks like this and this. So the option is found here. You just click crop, and then you can just crop the screen how close you want it, or not close if you want it. And then we also have the can burn, which will crop but move at the same time. Okay, lastly we have music. This is very important because it's very important if you have it in the background or just music playing for a montage. Music definitely enhances a video a lot. It can make the video from boring to way more fun. You also want to make sure that the music that you're putting into your videos aren't copyrighted, because YouTube is very strict about copyrighted music, and if they find out like your music that you have in your videos is copyrighted, then they'll flag you and then you will not get paid. So the two places where I find non-copyrighted music is from YouTube and Epidemic Sound. So on YouTube I normally just search up non-copyrighted music, and then there's tons of music that isn't copyrighted that you can use in your videos. So once I find one that I like, I will have to download it. So this is the website I use. It's YouTube MP3 player. So you have to get the link of YouTube. So go back to the video, copy the link, and then go back onto the website and then just paste the link that you copied into the download bar, and then it will just download it for you to show up onto your iTunes, and then you can just add it in your videos. And yeah, so it's pretty easy like that. And this is the same how I also get my sound effects. So that's how I get my music from YouTube. Now the second place I get my music is from Epidemic Sound. Epidemic Sounds is where I get most of my music from, and the music is already non-copyrighted, so you don't have to worry about that, and then you can just download it straight away. You don't have to use the website that I used for YouTube, so you just download it straight away, and then it'll just go into your iTunes once again, and then you can just add it in your videos. So it's very easy, but you do need to sign up. So you do need to sign up for a subscription, which I do because I get my music from that most of the times. So that's how I get my music. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully this helped a lot of you people if you're starting out a YouTube channel or thinking about starting one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Like this video if you haven't already, subscribe also if you haven't already, and turn the post notifications on so you know every time I upload. And I will see you guys in my next video.